After the expulsion of Congressman George Santos, there will be a special election in New York's 3rd District this February. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new video, and today it is time that we talk about the 2024 special election in New York's 3rd District. That is right. We are officially having a special election in George Santos' former seat. Now, as many of you know, George Santos was expelled a couple months ago in what could very well be the dumbest move you have ever seen a majority party ever do. I mean, put it this way. We have what? 5-6 seat majority? With that majority being that small, these morons in the House, these true conservatives or whatever you want to call them, expelled one of their own in a very Democrat seat with a very small majority. And guess what? Brand new polling data was just released from Emerson College that shows Democrats are looking pretty good in New York's 3rd District for the special. What a freaking mistake. I mean, I don't care what you think about Santos. How they handled the entire situation was a complete and total joke. Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Guys, just for $1 a month, you can join Real American. This is the best way to support the daily content that we all know and love. So I hope and recommend you join the channel today. Now, let's be clear. George Santos was, or really any Republican, they weren't going to win this seat. When you have scandals that bad against the incumbent in that blue of a seat, I mean, it's a Biden +8 seat. No one was going to win it. But I am not pissed off that we're going to lose it. It's whatever. You know, it's a scandal. We weren't going to hold on to it. Whatever. My problem is how the Republicans handled this. I don't care who you are. All right? When you have that small of a majority, right? You just don't expel one of your own in a Democrat seat. That might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And listen, it's one thing if Santos was convicted of a crime. Then, okay, I would support it. I would have voted for expulsion at that point. But he was expelled before that. He was expelled because the Ethics Committee recommended expulsion. Yeah, the Ethics Committee. No trial, no jury, nothing. It was an Ethics Committee just decided, you know what? We don't like Santos. He's gone. I know there's a bit more to that, but still. That's effectively what happened. Can you imagine the consequences of that decision? It gives the ethics chair so much power. I mean, if he doesn't like someone, just make up a bullshit complaint and recommend expulsion. I mean, that's the problem with the precedent they set, and no one seems to care, and no one cares. No one seems to understand they opened a can of worms, and it's absolute stupidity that we're even talking about this seat. We shouldn't be talking about this in February of 2024. We should be talking about it in October. But let's get into it. Let's see what Emerson College found. A new survey of New York voters in the 3rd Congressional District finds that 45% of voters support Democrat Thompson, 42% support Republican Mazi Pilip, and 5% plan to vote for someone else. 9% are undecided ahead of the February special election to replace Santos, who was expelled from Congress in December, which I think will go down as one of the biggest blunders we have ever seen in the House of Representatives. But okay, putting aside the Santos stuff, which I'm still not happy about, this is a situation where I am not rooting for the Republican. Yes, it's one of those cases where the Republican is so bad I am rooting for the Democrat, Tom Suozzi. Listen, he is not, a conservative Dem. He's not. But at least there's some issues here and there that he is slightly more moderate on. I mean, he is a former congressman after all. But, he's bad. But Pilip, which I believe I'm saying her name correctly, might be the worst Republican I have ever seen. Yes, it's so bad. I think she makes Becky Edwards of Utah look conservative. Yeah, when you're in comparison with Becky Edwards, that's not good. But Pilip has arguably the worst issues page I've ever seen in hell. One of the worst campaigns I've ever seen in the past 4 or 5 years. Listen, I understand that you have to appeal to moderates, fine. But at some point it's okay, you're running as a pro-abortion, anti-gun, freaking probably pro-amnesty Republican. It is a Biden plus 8 seat. Fine. You can have... I have more leeway with that. With some of that stuff. But when you are anti-gun and flat-out pro-abortion... Not even Brian Fitzpatrick is like that. And he's an actual moderate. This Pilip lady, which, again, I'm hopefully saying her name correctly... She is running as a liberal. I mean, it's one thing to be a moderate. It's a whole nother can of worms if you're just a full-blown liberal on most issues. Hell, she is a registered Democrat. You can't make this up. And this is a Republican that's going to replace Santos? Who has arguably, or had, one of the best voting records in the House? It's absolutely bizarre. And we're not even getting into her IDF stuff, which is just... I'm not. Spencer Kimball, executive director of Emerson College Polling, said, Suozzi voters currently express heightened enthusiasm, with a majority of those very likely to vote on February 13th favoring Suozzi at 51 to 37%. It's noteworthy that the very likely voter segment constitutes 84% of the sample. In other words, what I have been saying and many others for months now is true. Republicans are doing better in higher turnout races than lower turnout. I mean, look at the top line. Registered voters, it's within the margin of error. And what that means is, it's a larger electorate. When you have very likely to vote, that means those are the voters that vote in every single election. They vote every single time there's something on the ballot, something. They get out and vote. 10 years ago, this would be the opposite. Republicans never do this bad with very likely to vote voters, but this good with registered voters. That is a swing of, what is that, an 11-point shift? Suozzi leads Pilip among voters whose highest degree of education is a college degree, 48 to 44%, and postgraduate degrees, 53 to 33%. Pilip leads among voters whose highest degree is high school or less, 53% to 30%. This might be a problem for Suozzi. I mean, this is not good. Now, what do I mean that this isn't good for Suozzi? Look at the college grads. He's only up by 4 points. In a Biden plus 8 seat, you're only up by 4? That's not good. Hell, Pilip is actually doing really good among those without a high school degree or with a high school degree or less. The working class vote is actually going for Pilip by quite a bit. If she could somehow pull off the college grads, which probably not going to happen, there is a possibility she does actually win after all, which I know that sounds crazy, but these numbers are not that good for a Democrat, especially in a Biden plus 8 seat. While younger voters ages 18 to 19 disapprove of the job Biden is doing as president, 50% to 40%. The same demographic is breaking for Suozzi, 53% to 34%, which, again, that's actually not that good for Pila, because, yeah, it's 18-year-old voters, sure, but that's including voters that are like 39 and 38, which, when you start to get to that age, they tend to be a bit more Republican. No matter who you are, they tend to be a bit more of a Republican voter. The fact that Swazi's doing that good with that age group, yeah, that's actually not that good for Pila. That she's doing that bad with younger voters. I mean, that's a 30-point lead, no, 20-point lead, excuse me. Still not that good, especially in a Biden +8 seat. Pila leads among the 3rd district's white voters, 49 to 40%, and 44% to 33% among Hispanics. Wait, hold up, what? She's up by 11? You know, I'm looking more at this, and despite the campaign that Pila is running, the numbers she's getting here, she actually has a shot of winning. Now, the Asian votes go in Swazi 60-25. That's horrific. But she's winning Hispanics, winning white voters, doing good enough with college grads, doing good enough with working class voters. I mean, there's a possibility here. It's unlikely. But you look at what's happening here, just based on the demographics, there is a possibility Mazi Pila pulls it off. Now, I don't think she does because there's a lot of problems with her. This is a very Biden seat. But if she pulls it off, I would not be 100% surprised. But I think Swazi's going to win. I think he will consolidate this vote for college grads. But the fact it's only 48 to 44% for Swazi, when it should be like a 10-point lead at least, that's a bit worrisome. That is a bit worrisome for the Democrats. And if there's higher turnout, much higher than expected, Pila could win, especially if she is doing that good with low propensity voters. But anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Thank you so much. Godspeed to all of you.